Good morning, welcome back to DXRADIOSHOP. Our Thursday morning rag chew. So today is gonna be very interesting. We have an 88 Galaxy that's all messed up. So we're gonna go through all of that and see what we can do to fix it. But holy goodness gracious, she's definitely a mess. Hold on one second, guys. I'm just going to take care of something real fast. Take. Anyways, here's the radio we're going to be working on. I'll hover over the camera. You guys tell me what all you see wrong. Other than I already pulled the switches here up, but take a look at what you see wrong, then we'll go over it really quickly. This is going to be today's headache right off from the get-go. Drop it down below in the comments what you guys think, what you see, and then we'll go from there. A few moments to do that while I'm finishing up on something else here in a second. We also had a great time yesterday with the bikers that came through town with Calipetti, so that was a very good turnout. So if anybody had the chance to watch that, I hope you did. It was well worth the event for sure. The rain held off, which was nice. Okay, so that is going to be here. Okay, Bhaskar says, infamous swing kid. John says, spaghetti warehouse. And William says, switch and hanging out. Let's see. Good morning, John. Chris, Bhaskar, Greg, Ron, Steve, and Williams. And Ledfa, how are you guys? Yeah, Ron, I'll let you know today. I'm supposed to have an answer on that today, so I'll let you know today on him. One second, guys. I'm trying to take care of something at the same time. Hold on. one last thing to do. Hold on. Just trying to get everything all lined up here. Alright, that's all set. Okay. My apologies, I had to get a few things squared away on the computer. Anyway, so yeah, fun. Yeah, it's supposed to have both boards. One's for your frequency module, your band, your adder chips, and one's for the echo. Yep, good morning, Corey. How are you? Yeah, those turbos are hard to come by. You might want to hang on to yours. Good morning, Matt. How are you? I haven't seen you around here in a while. How you been, buddy? And good morning, Mr. Bone Picker. So, what do we got here today we got to take care of? Well, let's see. It's going to be a fun-filled day of nonsense. So we have some additional leads right here. Heat shrink off. Already took the switches out from the holes here. These don't even work to begin with. The guy wants me to swap these over to a Cobra 29, which we cannot do because they aren't no good. What else do we have? Let's take a little zoom in and have a tour of the radio. Look at this. That's a nasty looking deal here. We got spread coils. Right down here we got ourselves a lifted resistor. I think we can do better than this, guys. Let's get right on inside. I'm glad you're busy, Matt. Absolutely. Glad to see you on, for sure. Glad you're doing good. Yeah, right here's a resistor clipped. R249. This is a Galaxy 88, Corey. And if we slide this way, look at that deal. Here's your little NPC, PPE, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. I don't care what you call it, guys. It's called swing kit. It's called does not belong in radio, period. So I don't care what they call it and all these other hack shops. That does not belong. This diode is in series to a resistor. The board says R238. It does not say R and D or just diode. A lot of times people take the resistor right out and just put the diode in. Or they put this on the back of the board to the AM regulator, which is exactly where this goes to. So this resistor is still going to be good, but this diode's got to get removed. That was the add-on slop job you can see that they've done here. Now, let's take and pop some of these boards off and see what's underneath them, because if you see this kind of mess, then we don't know what we're going to run into. So it's important that we have to look at everything. And I can see that right now. Okay. Right here. See these ferrite chokes? See that lead? That does not belong over here. This lead actually goes down to there. So they've got the lead pulled from here and soldered across to this. That's just another RF mod of nonsense. Okay. Well, let's go under the echo board. I'm going to spend a lot of time just removing garbage. Like I was talking to one of the distributors yesterday about, or day before, I think. Well, it was day before. And he says, yeah, it sucks when you got to spend more time taking out someone else's stuff before you get to the problem. I said, absolutely. Let's get down inside here and see what we got. Oh, look at that. I'm not surprised. In the very least. What do you guys see? Look at those 3 leads right here. Just sticking right on up. What the heck, you know? That one's gone, but these 2 right here, it's in, but it's flush. So they cut the transistor TR32. So, yeah, beautiful. So we've got the modulation limiter here, and the modulation limiter there, and our glorified swing kit that has to be removed, plus the coils are spread, plus the RF mod over here with our chokes. These are all things I can identify immediately that I got to get into. Well, let's take a look on the other side. Oh boy, they volted the finals, and you got an additional cap here for the AM regulator. That's all part of your little swing kit deal. Get that little boost. Every little boost counts, right? Goodness gracious, you peoples, I tell you what. So yeah, all this nonsense has got to go away. I honestly don't even know if I want to get involved with this. Seriously, because it's just so much garbage. It truly is. It doesn't look like they modified the clarifier, so hopefully that's a good thing. I don't see it touch, so we should be okay with him. To see a fractured solder joint right here. So we're going to take and we're going to put a little marker to remind me. So when my eyes wander around to see all this stuff, we'll go back and fix him. Goodness gracious, this is an add-on. So I'm going to point this out. This is how. This is where you become with stupid people, like panic attacking those guys that don't know what the hell they're doing. Look at this, guys. I want to show you something. People who do this clearly don't belong inside of a radio. Let me ask you something right now, and put your comments down below. Look at this resistor. That's a factory resistor. Now look at where it is. This is ground. You see the ground tab? You see how that's connected to the ground? And it goes right down here to this pin? Okay? Well, what the hell you need another resistor doing the same damn thing for? Same pin, going right to ground. You don't need this. This is more than sufficient for that chip. For this mixer chip here. You don't need this. So that GABA solder, all this added on, don't need to do it. Unless this thing's out of tolerance and they want to put this in with it for whatever reason, which you don't need to, then they should have put a 1K back in instead of a 10 ohm. It looks like. Let's see, brown, black, and then black. That's a 10 ohm. Yeah, because if that were brown, it would have been 100 ohm. So this is a 10 ohm. So this is not even the right resistor to begin with. That's the 1K. This is factory. You can tell by the soldering here, opposed to that soldering there. So you can see, like, from this point to this point, those are factory solders. See, when you're trained in a soldering course and you're actually ISO certified, then you would understand more. The people who are not ISO certified and think well, hell, I've been soldering, blah, blah. Unless you're certified, you really don't know what you're looking for. Believe me, because I soldered for years, long before I even got into a multi-billion-dollar company, who taught me surface mount technology, troubleshooting aspects of your solder flow machines, mechanical operation of the solder flow machines, functional testing, ISO certification. These are all standards by federal regulations. Not just because you want to, well, I just want to go out here and get a piece of paper with my name onto it and it says I can do this. No, anybody can solder, but it takes a real skill set to understand. It's not just you putting the solder to the iron tip and then to the pad or component. There's a lot more to that than what you think. So it's the amount of solder flow, it's the right solder to use, the amount of temperature to use, so you don't lift the pad or damage a trace. And if you're not careful, I've actually heard traces pop. And that means you got a slight crack now. So let's say, for example, we put too much heat onto this guy right here, for example. you're going to hear a snap. And what that does is separates the pad from the trace and or will actually damage the trace. And when you go to check continuity, you won't have continuity from point A to point B. Okay? So these are things they teach you along the way. You got solder balls right here. Look at this. Jeepers creepers. So yeah, I mean, to be ISO certified, it telling you, it means something. For the ones who don't care, all you little hack shops, oh, he's just talking about. No, it doesn't mean you're better or worse. It just means that you are trained. You know what you're looking for. You know what you're doing. ISO certification is not an easy thing to get. You just don't go online and download a form and put your name into it. All you little creativity trolls and hack shops do a lot of these fake certificates. They put them up on the wall. I walked into a shop many years ago, not far from here, and they had 4 or 5 certificates on the wall. Sorry, he used to be right down the road from here. He had 4 or 5 certificates on his wall inside of his motorhome. I said, "What is all that?" "Oh, I'm certified for this. I'm all licensed." And I'm reading those. I'm like, huh, that's funny, because they don't give you serial numbers for those licenses. They give you an ID code, which is a series between letters and numbers. He had all numbers, just random numbers. So it's like, okay. And one of the drivers who knew him very well says, "Yeah, didn't you recognize the numbers? Because we got talking about it one day. He didn't go down there no more." I says, "Well, no, just a bunch of serious numbers, and I knew they weren't well, I knew it wasn't real." He says, "Yeah, look at it carefully. It's his phone number in a row plus his birthday at the end." I said, "Are you serious?" So the next time I went down, sure enough, that was his phone number in a row with no dashes plus his birthday. And I asked him, "What's your birthday by any chance?" Someone said you just had a birthday. "What is your birthday?" That's how I started the conversation. He gave it to me. I looked over the wall. Sure enough, that's what it was. His phone number and his birthday. I said, "Son of a gun." Ha! Sly Fox. That's when I called him out onto it. And that was pretty much the end of my time of visiting him. And I didn't really care much to visit for the guy, but I only went down because he had some pretty good deals on stuff he couldn't fix or screwed up. I would buy them, bring them back here and fix them up, and then resell them. So that's the only reason why we were social, I suppose, if you will. Not friends, but just social for that reason. So, but anyway, yeah, so Aaron probably knows the guy in the motorhome I'm talking about, Bill Dunham, who no longer exists in New York State. He's down in North Carolina, because if he ever came back up here, he'd be in jail. They have a warrant for his arrest. Way back in 2007 for fraud, and he stole over $5,000 worth of driver's equipment. What he would do is take the bezel off, the knobs off, the covers off, put all brand new on, stick it back into a random box, like say a Galaxy 33, one of his biggest deals he had way back when they first came out. And so what happened with him is that he got caught because one of the guys who dropped one off, he says, "Fix it." And it went on for a few months. Finally called him up and said, "Hey, can you fix it?" He says, "No." He's, "All right, just keep it for parts. Just sell me a brand new one." Well, the guy who bought the radio, he bought back his own radio. Bill forgot that it was his radio. He got so caught up in his scam, he didn't realize that when he grabbed the 33 in a random box, gave it to the guy, and he said, the serial number's not matching up with the box. And the serial number on the radio already matches what I've already got here from the box that I've got from my original radio. How is that possible? So at that point, they got into a big feud. Cops got called, and then that's when the investigation started, blah, 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 blah. He took off 2007, Christmas Eve. A week later, we found out there was a warrant for his arrest for all the fraudulent activity that he'd done to drivers. That's why he's no longer around. Anyways, but he's one of the common guys who put up fake certificates on the wall, claim to be this, claim to be that. No, you got to have it this way. No, you got to add these components. And he was known to do this kind of work. Now, this did not come from him, and this is not his work. This is the work of somebody else, but he was known to do exactly this type of deal. So, and so anyways, yeah, so this is factory. This is not. And that has to go. And you can clearly see by the soldering of it as well. So this has got to go. This wire's got to go. Cap's got to go. And then all the other stuff on the other side's got to go. And here's something funny. Remember that transistor we showed you with the clip leads? Well, here's one that's completely out. And then the other two are right there. So if I take my solder iron and touch these two leads, you're going to see them drop out. Or if I use my solder sucker to pull them up. Now here is a little bit of a mound of solder, and you can see the hole on the other side. That's a fractured solder, open solder joint. Here's another one. Alright, boy, I don't even know if I want to mess with this. I really don't know. Oh my god. That's going to go here, and he's going to go there. And I'll take an isopropyl rubbing alcohol when I get a chance to rub that off as well. But yeah, right here is, I'm going to put one right there on that tip so I know he's one, he's one. These are things you look for. These are things when you're trained and you understand technique behind soldering, you look for certain things. It's not just because, oh, I see it. You know, there's a reason behind it. They've replaced this regulator once before. That's not factory soldering. It's got the original audio chip. It's got the original regulator. The finals have been replaced before. Looks like the driver, pre-driver's still factory. Oh, 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 look at that. Look at this, guys. So what happens when you get too much heat? They got a damaged trace right there, so they put a little jumper in place. You guys see this? They put a little jumper right here. Man. I mean, that's just your bottom side we're looking at. We're not even looking at the damn top side. All this other garbage we got to take care of yet. Like I said, I don't even... This radio actually transmits and it actually receives. Don't ask me how. All this nonsense in here, it actually transmits and actually receives. I did test that out. And it does have a... the lens right here has got to get fixed. That's kind of like all over the place. And it does have a hum. So the cap in the back, we're going to check the audio output caps back in here, and we're going to check the filter cap as well. So I'm going to check all these out because it does have an AC hum as well. But yeah, that's what you call glorified junk right here, ladies and gentlemen. These are the things you don't do. Now, somebody had a very good question this morning on the YouTube channel on my post, and it was a really, really good question, so I really appreciate them asking this question. And that was, why is it the president thinks... It's on there if you guys want to read it. And very good question from a really nice guy. So he says, his question was, why is it a president thinks that it's secretive, basically, not to show people or let them into the tech menu on your President radios? And the reason is because, let's say you got 500 radios sold. 275 of those are being sent back because somebody got inside and screwed around, and now they have to warranty those. Think about the money. Think about it like this. I've got 500 cars on my lot. I sell all 500 cars on my lot. Wow, I just banked good. I made great sales. Now all of a sudden, we'll say 175 of those come back. Well, for what? Because somebody got inside and screwed around, because they modified this or they opened that. So this is what happens. You start losing money when you have to honor that warranty, because now the warranty is going to be absorbed by the company. So that's why. And when you get shops that do this kind of garbage, this is exactly why they don't want random shops into tech menus, for that reason. So, because now the warranty techs, which now I'm part of their team, we have to go through and eat the cost. We can't charge the customer if it's under warranty because of that nature. So if something goes wrong, they stand by it. But if they find out you got inside and messed with the values, well, then that's what it is. So now on the newer radios, those are program driven, right? It's all menu driven. However, when you do a factory reset, a lot of people think that, well, I just did a factory reset, they'll never know. It doesn't reset everything back to factory. If it did, then your radio would function, unless you have failure of componentry. And that's typically What would fail is your componentry. In other words, regulators, finals, drivers, pre-drivers, etc. Those type of things would be the first to go due to high SWR, high dead keys, saturated, signal going out because you're maximizing the radio. If you start changing values inside the front menu, you could screw things up there as well because nothing's going to be synchronized. So they have a service menu, your average menu, and then they also have a tech menu. And that's why they don't want you inside certain menus, because they don't want to have to worry about, here guys, this is a match, and there's your gallon of gas. Go over there and play with the fire, and when you come back here, we'll just repeat the process over again, right? Why would you do that? So that's why they don't want to give the information out. It's not secretive, it's just they don't want to waste the money selling you a product you're going to screw up, and then go back and say, hey, it don't work, give me a new one. Can you imagine if you had 500 radios you sell, and 275 of those came back that you had to replace? I mean, that's like a little over half of your loss. You don't make the money because you got to take and give brand new radios now. What are you going to do with the old radios now? Now you got to fix them. Now you got to sell them as refurbished if you can even fix them. That's where it costs money. So the company's idea is to, I'm going to sell you a product. It's working. Don't touch certain things. Let it work. If something goes wrong, send it back. It's under warranty. If it's not under warranty, then we'll send you out to a warranty tech who will still honor certain things, but you're going to pay at that point if you have exceeded your warranty. Like anything else. If you're outside the warranty, you're outside the warranty. And a lot of guys, they'll call and cry about it. Well, it was a month ago. Can't you just honor it? You're out of warranty. You're expired. Period. Expiration is expiration. That's it. You can't say, well, geez, it's only been a week, it's only been a month, only been a year. If you're expired, you're expired. Period. That's it. And so that's the reason why they don't want nobody inside tech menus on a lot of these newer radios. ANYTONE, STRYKER, Presidents. Those are the reasons why. So very good question. And like I said, the guy who asked the question, very nice guy, cool guy. And so I really appreciate that question, because I'm sure a lot more people are probably going to ask it anyway. So he came forward first to ask the question. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. So we can actually get this out there for people to know. We don't want random shops or just general public getting inside and messing with the menu. That's when things go bad. So, hello Ralph. Hello Rick. How are you? Good morning, Chavez. Yeah, someone's always trying to scam something. You got it. Yeah. Ralph said they came out a little late. What's the radio you're working on? Well, I ain't working on it just yet. And I'm still hesitant. I even want to work on it to begin with, because it's going to be some money involved here. This is a Galaxy 88, and we've got a lot of things we got to take care of inside. Get these toys out; they don't work anyway. Go in here, replace the limiter, move the boards out of the way, take the swing kit out, put the limiter back in over here, put coils back where they belong. The RF mod over here, we got to put that choke back down here where it belongs. And then back over this side, remove the volted final. They volted these 13 volts direct. Take the cap on off. Remove this one. Resistor does not belong. Go in here, touch up a couple of cold solder joints we found. There's 3 of those. And reflow the board on top of that. I noticed when I pushed down over here, then my frequency was solid. Otherwise, it was reading 10.695. And the flex of the board actually goes back to this point. It's got a plug on the inside. When you know your circuitry, and you understand what you have, then it all makes sense, okay? Instead of just reflowing solder joints, understand what you're looking at first, because you can reflow solder joints left and right and not realize you're not even in the general area, right? So what that is right down through here. This cable right here, if that thing is unplugged, it's going to read 10.695 across your frequency display. So there's a cold solder joint on the other side of this cable, on that socket, this plug. So when you go on the other side of the board, it's got a cold solder joint. So when I had flexed the board, it made contact and my frequency came back. The only reason how it says 10.695 is because you're not getting this module here to function. So if I disconnect this wire, it says 10.695 on your frequency display. So when people see this, like, why does it say 10.695? The crystal's good. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got the fact to do with A, something's either wrong in here, or B, 99% of the time is due to this cable and a bad solder joint down on the board from this cable right here. Make sure that's secure. Double check everything around, and then your 10.695 offsets right here would come in. Otherwise, you're never going to align that because you can't read 10.695 on the front display. It has to read 27 meg. So in order to get this signal down here mixed in correctly, that cable, this plug has to be soldered to the board correctly. And that's the problem also with this radio. I knew right off the get-go when I saw that. It's like, yep. When I press on the board, I know. So it's right down here in this area. So that's another problem with this radio. So yeah, fun. It's going to be a great day working on this. If I decide to go through, I got to get a hold of the guy first and say, hey, here's the price you're looking at, roughly. What do you think? And if he's happy with it, we'll do it. If he's not, then he can take it back just the way it is, and we'll put the covers back on it and be done with it. So we'll find out. I'll get a hold of him here shortly, and we will either have a video or not have a video. One of the two. Anyways, I'm going to get my day started. It's already past 7:30. Let me get things rock and rolling. I got to get a few more things done here, box up a few more stuff, and get them ready for shipment. Answer a couple more emails, and then hopefully by 8 or shortly after we get our day started with this, we'll get a hold of him and see where we're going to go with this 88. So we'll be back shortly here at the DX Radio Shop. Everybody enjoy your Thursday morning, and we'll see you soon.